Good morning, everyone. We're gathered here. What a nice day so far. We're going to beat the rain, right? And we're here today, certainly, as the mayor of the city of Fitchburg, I'm here to tell you that this is one more example of the partnership and collaboration that Representative Trahan has demonstrated from day one. She continues to demonstrate and deliver on ever since she's been our representative. And we're thrilled today to be able to talk about resources with MassDOT and certainly with the federal government beginning the whole project and the process of addressing our infrastructure issues. This is one example of what's very, very necessary and needed in the city of Fitchburg. And we couldn't be happier with the partnership and collaboration with Representative Trahan's office. Not to mention our state delegation, Representative Kuchmarek and Senator Cronin. Thank you for your participation. And the guy that knows all of the numbers and all of the details of this kind of engineering project, Nick Erickson, our DPW commissioner, who I go to every time I'm confused about things that are beyond my skill level, so to speak. Not often. Thank you very much, Senator. Thank you so much. But again, it's my pleasure to introduce Representative Laurie Trahan to come and say a few words and once again, keeping in mind a great friend to the city of Fitchburg. She'll continue to be, and we couldn't be happier. Thank you so much, Representative Trahan.
Thank you. Thanks, Mayor. Oh. All right. Well, it is true what the mayor says. I am so fortunate to have you as a partner, and I'll be super clear, when he calls, we all race to pick up the phone because, you know, it is, I get to work with a lot of mayors, but you are engaged on every level, relentlessly making sure that resources, whether federal or state, are coming to the city of Fitchburg to make it a better place for the folks who live or work here. So I appreciate that partnership, Mayor. It is great to be back here in Fitchburg to celebrate the start of National Transportation Week, and to do so by announcing the federal investment that's finally going to get long overdue projects like this one done. I'm grateful to be joined by local state officials who have been advocating for these projects for years now. Of course, the mayor, Senator Cronin, Representative Kuchmarek, members of the city council, and certainly our partners at MassDOT. As well as, and I don't think Glenn Eaton and Brad Harris are not here from the Montechusett Metropolitan Planning Council, but they have also, this work does not happen because we just sprinkle funds and hope they land in the right place. It happens because people have done the work, the feasibility studies, and everything that's required to prioritize projects like this one. They know better than most that infrastructure isn't always the issue that is most top of mind in our communities. But these projects are more about filling a few potholes. These projects are about the safety of our communities, making sure that parents can get their children to school and then get themselves to work on time and not have to think about the structural integrity of the bridge that they're passing over. In the past, projects like the Circle Street Bridge and the Water Street Bridge, they've been kicked down the road because of federal divestment in infrastructure projects like these. Past administrations, Democrat and Republican alike, they've talked about reversing that trend and finally reinvesting in our infrastructure. And in a time of extreme polarization in Washington, when I find myself disagreeing with many of my Republican colleagues on other issues, a majority of us were able to come together and agree that we need to invest in our community's infrastructure. Now, there have been more infrastructure weeks than any of us care to sit and count. But this week, we are able to celebrate these projects because this administration and this Congress had got it done. That's because in almost every community here in Massachusetts and across our country, there's a bridge like the Circle Street Bridge that desperately needs repairs. There's a bridge like the Water Street Bridge that desperately needs to be replaced. The infrastructure build is massive because to get projects like these done, it needs to be. Now, I'll spare you the full breakdown because we would be here all day. And I do know that rain is looming, although it doesn't feel like that right now. But for the Circle Street Bridge specifically, the bipartisan infrastructure law is delivering $2.6 million. And when you combine that with the $660,000 from the state match, it means that we'll see this bridge completed in the next 2 years. What? Yeah. Thank you, Mayor. Once finished, this bridge will be open and it'll be safer for drivers, cyclists, and pedestrians to make their way to Crocker Field, to cheer on the Red Raiders, to celebrate our graduates, or just to enjoy some fresh air with their families. Likewise, the Water Street Bridge project is set to begin construction not long after the Circle Street Bridge is completed. That project will use over $15.6 million in federal funding, along with a $4 million match from the state of Massachusetts, to replace the bridges that lead to Fitchburg's Central Business District. Together, these two projects alone will mean safer, less congested commutes for many Fitchburg residents, as well as folks from surrounding communities who come to the city for work or for school. Outcomes like this, where people's lives are made better, even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes less in the car each day, is exactly why my vote for the bipartisan infrastructure law was one of the easiest votes I've taken in the 3 years that I've been in the Congress. And that's just the start. I look forward to our next infrastructure event, talking about the improvements on the way to Route 2 or construction of the Twin Cities Rail Trail. As you can see, the impact here in Fitchburg and in the communities across our district cannot be overstated. And I look forward to seeing these critical projects completed in the months and the years ahead. Of course, working with everyone here this morning to make sure that we keep delivering the resources necessary to make Fitchburg an even better place to live, work, and raise a family. So I'm also serving as the MC of this event, and I do have to first just thank my partners in all of this. It's incredible to be able to pick up the phone and call folks who are so aligned with the priorities of the city of Fitchburg and beyond. Whenever I work to secure federal funding for Massachusetts in a package like this, I rest easy knowing that I have state partners like Senator Cronin and Representative Kushmarek ready to go to bat on Beacon Hill to maximize the impact that we'll have here in this great city. Since taking office in 2021, I have been completely impressed with just how much Senator Cronin has accomplished for the communities that we have the honor to represent together. After all, it's not too long ago, we were just down the street from here announcing ARPA funding that he and Representative Kushmarek secured for the theater district. So I'm grateful to have Senator Cronin as a partner and a friend, and welcome him to say a few words.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you, Congresswoman Trahan. I can't put too fine a point on the fact that we have a team here at the local level with Mayor DiNatale, my colleague on Beacon Hill at the State House, Representative Kushmarek, and with our Congresswoman, Representative Trahan, that is committed to fulfilling the same vision. And it's directing as many resources as we can to this Main Street here in Fitchburg and to this downtown, because it is really it is going to be the anchor of our local and regional economy here in the 21st century. Last week, Representative Kushmarek won't give himself credit, but he secured funds for Crocker Field in the House budget. Next week in the Senate debate, I'm going to be working to direct more funds to Main Street for housing production. And we could not ask for a better Congresswoman to really lead our delegation. And it doesn't matter what letter is at the end of your name. I think when we send somebody to go represent us and be our voice in Washington, D.C., we really just have one simple ask, and it is deliver. Please deliver for us. And since Representative Trahan has been our voice and represented the city of Fitchburg, there has been greater flow of federal funding than any time since the New Deal in probably the 1930s and 1940s. And we're seeing her work have an impact in our community. We're gonna see it in housing production. We're gonna see it in the theater block, which would not have happened without her passing the American Rescue Plan and her being there to vote for that bill to pass. And investing in infrastructure like today is investing in the future. So I'm so grateful to Congresswoman Trahan for leading those efforts to get those funds because it's making an impactful difference that we can all see and is going to make a difference in this city's future here and moving forward. So with that, I want to kick it over to my colleague and close friend, Representative Kushmerek, who again has been working hand in hand as a member of the team to deliver for the city of Fitchburg.
Thank you.
He stole your job as MC.
I'm sorry.
I know,
That's
that's
okay.
great.
I'll say my glowing remarks about you when you're done.
Congresswoman Trahan, I've said this time and time again, there is no better federal partner in the entire House of Representatives at the federal level than Lori Trahan. Nobody delivers more for their district than the individual standing right behind me right now. How often have we talked about her coming out and delivering federal and directing federal dollars to critical projects that have been long since neglected by the federal government? She does it time and time again. It would be easy to have secured a federal earmark for Water Street Bridge, high profile, and then moved on to the next district. Instead, she took the time to learn the district, to work with the mayor, the state and local partners to realize what are the projects that are impactful to a region and to a community. Crocker Field is one of the most historic football fields and athletic fields in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. But the critical bridge that connects it to the downtown can't handle and accommodate local vehicle traffic. She's going to fix that, and she has fixed that. Soon, the city will be making a large investment to renovate, and this mayor has been leading the charge to reinvest and renovate Crocker Field, and I don't know that we could do that without these critical funds to help bridge the downtown to our historic field. And without this earmark to secure this, the funding for this bridge, the state legislature would not have been able to leverage that into an earmark to assist with those efforts for historic Crocker Field. So once again, Congresswoman Trahan, thank you for your leadership on Capitol Hill. Thank you for the allies you continue to leverage in the Biden-Harris administration to direct those federal dollars to where they're needed the most in our local communities. I want to thank our state partner in Barry Lorian with Mass DOT. I want to thank Nick Erickson, our fearless leader of the DPW, who is just incredibly capable and always able to hold the city's infrastructure together with bubble gum and duct tape, but it's great when we can actually direct federal resources to you so you can get the job done and actually be proactive. Thank you to our mayor for always collaborating with the state and federal partners, and Senator Cronin, thank you as always for directing funds and being such a fierce advocate for the city of Fitchburg.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm going to take those. Thank you. Thank you so much. And look, I think it's Representative Kushmerek definitely set the bar while he was, securing those earmarks in our state budget. He was also welcoming his firstborn, Gabriel, to the world, which I've seen pictures on Facebook. He is adorable. So congratulations, Mike, to you and Carissa. But it is a testament to his public service into this city that he is here with us today, unless he's planning on taking a quick nap in his car before heading back. He does look well rested, as Senator Cronin pointed out. I mean, you look remarkable for having a newborn at home. But jokes aside, I've been so impressed and made better in my role by the partnership with Senator Cronin and with Representative Kushmerek. So we are also fortunate to be joined by Barry Lorian, a partner from the Mass DOT. I know I speak for everyone here when I say how grateful we are to have Mass DOT's leadership on this project and for taking the time out of you were busy before, but now with this infrastructure bill taking effect in our communities all across the Commonwealth, busy, we got to get a new word for busiest. But Barry, would love it if you'd come up and just say a few words about the project where it stands right now. Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Congresswoman. So good morning. Again, my name is Barry Lorian. I'm with the Mass DOT Highway Division for Central Massachusetts. I represent Central Massachusetts, and Fitchburg is clearly in the middle of Central Massachusetts. So I'm pleased to be here today on behalf of Highway Administrator Jonathan Gulliver, Secretary of Transportation Jamie Tesler, and of course the Baker-Polito administration. I want to thank Congresswoman and the City of Fitchburg for having me today. Having me here today to recognize this bridge, which the bridge we're standing on right now will be advertised for construction in August of this year. So we're about 2 months away before we advertise for contractors to come in and reconstruct this bridge. I'll talk a little bit about that construction, just to give everybody an idea about, well, expectations, what's going to happen and when is it going to happen. So we are replacing this bridge, what we call the superstructure. So the steel beams, the concrete deck, everything on top of it will all be new. The abutments, so the ends on both sides, will stay in place, and we will repair those. So that type of an approach allows us to hopefully construct this project in one construction season, and that's essentially what our goal is. The roadway is currently closed, so that helps. It gives us free access to the bridge. So again, we will advertise for construction in August of this year. We hope to have a contractor on board by the end of this calendar year. We should see a lot of construction during the calendar year 2023. And then hopefully wrapping up in time for some of the improvements at the field. I wanted to talk a little bit today also about the Water Street bridges that will be reconstructed. Now those are the bridges on Route 12 Water Street as you come into downtown. Very heavily traveled bridges, and as has already been pointed out, it's about a $20 million project total. We're currently working through the latter stages of design. About 50% designed or so. We expect that project to be advertised for construction in 2024. So the idea would be to actually finish this bridge construction and then move to the Water Street bridges to reconstruct those bridges. Along the way, it's important to point out that we've got other projects in the area. Some of these other projects are River Street over the North Nashua River. That bridge is being completely replaced. We expect that to be advertised in 2023 with construction following soon after that. But and then we've got a few other projects you're probably familiar with. The Twin Cities Rail Trail, Phase 1 is almost complete. Phase 2 we hope to start probably in a year and a half or so. We're currently engaged in design there. So you can see how much work that we have going on in the region. And for this work, funding from our federal partners is key. So, you know, delivering the bipartisan infrastructure law funding enables us to address not only projects directly funded by that, but other projects that we use other funding mechanisms for. It frees up funding there, we can do more projects. So the federal money that you bring really ends up impacting and affecting many more projects than just those targeted with these funds. We want to thank you for that. But otherwise, thank you for having me today. And I guess I'll turn it back to you, Congresswoman.
Yes.
Okay.
You bet. Thank you so much, Jerry. Finally, I want to thank our DPW Commissioner, Nick Erickson, for recognizing the importance of these projects. You know, bridge repairs and replacements, they don't happen without an unbelievable amount of work in the background, and also taking the initiative to pick up the phone and place priority on the projects that we need federal funding to complete. So I'd love to have Commissioner Erickson share a few details about these projects, but also just to thank him for his long work on these. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Congresswoman Trahan. So Circle Street Bridge is a perfect example of one of the many infrastructure needs that the City of Fitchburg has. And it wouldn't be possible to address these infrastructure needs without some assistance from the state and federal government. So the advocacy at both of those levels is much appreciated. So I believe the bridge that we're looking at was closed last summer. There were reports of open concrete areas covered by plates right now where you could see directly down into the river. So that prompted us to put the Jersey barriers up and actually close the bridge to vehicular traffic. Pedestrians can still traverse the bridge. It's not unsafe to do so, but we are very much looking forward to replacing the bridge, getting it back open. It serves as one of the main exits for our DPW, so it'll be nice to reestablish that exit for our guys that are going out to the city and running the city every day. With that, I wonder if there's any questions that you'd like me to address with the bridge or the schedule or anything like that.
The only question I had from constituents was regarding the temporary and permanent easements. Could you talk about that?
Sure. So because we're receiving federal dollars for this grant program, we're required to obtain easements through a certain process. So we're undertaking that effort right now with the solicitor's office. There's a number of temporary and permanent easements throughout the project, including city-owned parcels here on the adjacent Crocker Field. So we're working with the solicitor and the appraiser to compensate those individuals for those permanent and temporary easements. And once those are secured, that's the first step towards moving forward with getting this project out to bid.
Awesome. Thank
All right,
you.
thank you.
Thanks so much.
So lastly, Brad Harris from the Montechusett Metropolitan Planning Organization is with us today. So thank you so much for being with us, Brad. And just thank you all for attending today. We look forward to continuing our work together to advocate, elevate, and fund the projects here in Fitchburg. I would love to get a group photo to celebrate the incredible amount of work that's been done to date and that each of you have made on these projects. But thank you all again.